Hello everyone, Golden Nova here. I was about to turn in for bed when all the notifications kept coming in from all the social media accounts. New Vsauce lore has dropped. Now I normally don't do these immediate reaction type things, mostly because I never thought to really take the time to do any of it. But while I'm doing a whole bunch of new stuff on the channel, I might as well go to Konami, thirsting for lore like a tiny animal looking for some kind of delicious, nutritious supplement. This is not going really well. This is part of the reason why I don't do these live reacts, because I don't know how to do this. Anyway, let's lead in with Veda Samsara. I saw the pictures of this online, and it got me acting thirsty. I don't know what to tell you. Something about that cloak is so good. Okay, so they're a level 4 Light Fairy tuner, so very Manadium Ream Heart stats. This card's name becomes Veda while on the field or in the graveyard. That's a big important thing. I believe the Synchro monster only counts as that while on the field. This is field and a graveyard, so you have more Veda to go along with all those cards, so that's always good. You can target any number of your Veda monsters that are banished on your field and or in the graveyard. Shuffle them into the deck, and if you do, special summon this card from your hand. And if you do, it gains 400 attack for each monster with a different name shuffled by this effect. That is so wild, because we once again have an effect that changes the attack lineup, which ruins most of the Manadium tuner synergies, because they require you to... Oh no, I guess they check if you have Veda Starfrost, so in this situation, it's not quite as egregious. So, your Veda monsters, so all of the ones that just have it as part of their first name, so Starfrosts, and the Synchro, as far as I know, so you can shuffle those, get those recycled, and get a nifty attack boost. If this card you control uses Synchro material, you can treat it as a non-tuner. Okay, so it's a tuner and a non-tuner at the same time, which is a funny parallel to the fact that the Synchros can use any number of tuners. I think that's a funny bit of parallel stuff. Another 1521, it works for all of those 1521 cards that we saw last time with Worlds as one, so this is another one we can use with that one. It's weird though, we already have Drag Shovel and Zenmanes, but you know, I guess redundancy is pretty cool. Next is the I saw pictures of this too. Veda... Emily, you're gonna have to help me out with this one whenever it comes to the video. Veda Upanishad, or Upanishad. There we go. Veda, new Veda, invading Veda. I assume it says invasion at the top. Dark Warrior, special summon Pendulum, 0 scale, level 12, 0 attack, 4000 defense. As a Pendulum spell, once per chain, if you destroy an opponent's monster, place 3 counters on this card. This card's Pendulum scales increase by the number of counters on it. You can remove 12 scales from this card to special summon it. So, if 4 monsters are destroyed, you can summon this, which parallels the 4 main Veda personalities, or rather the heart monsters. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must special summon by its own Pendulum effect. Once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, you can banish 12 cards from your hand, field, and or graveyard face down. It becomes the end phase of this turn, and once per turn, during your standby phase, return this card to the hand. Then you can special summon one of your Veda monsters that is banished or in your hand, deck, or graveyard. That is... There's a lot of flavor going on right here. I don't know if there's a lot of, like, good stuff happening here. Because, like, you have to... 4 monsters have to be destroyed before you can even summon this out of your Pendulum Zone. And then its last effect puts it back in your hand to do it all over again. I guess as more Veda monsters come out, we'll have this will expend in playability. I guess the special summoning one is actually kind of cool because let's use your graveyard, which is 6. So now you can fill up your graveyard and then make an end phase effect. I'm not sure how the number. I guess 12 fits in with the number of counters we need. And I believe there's something to do with the yugas that uses the number 12. You'll have to get back to me on that one. Manadium Trilosucuda. Okay, so this is Kit Kalos, Tram School Tearlament, now as a Manadium. So hopefully we get things like we saw in the art that her and Scareclaw Astro and Kashtira Unicorn. Moby, please, I am recording right now. Little baby boy over here. Okay. So, level 6 Fairy Synchro, also a Synchro Tuner, but that kind of lines up. And we have a level 6 option, so if we don't want to do any kind of level modulation, we have that. 23 attack, 1200 defense. If this card is Synchro summoned, you can target a level 2 tuner in your graveyard to summon it, but its effects are negated. Because it was so nice when Assault Synchro Stardust had it that we had to do it again. And you can... One second, Moby, please. I'm trying to entertain everyone with my first reactions. You can target any number of tuners you control. This... Buddy, she daddle. You can target any number of tuners you control. Their levels become 2. Also, you can't special summon monsters from the X deck for the rest of the turn except Synchro monsters. So, it's not meant to be used with our Manadium tuners because those are already all level 2, except for the one that we, you know, can make it level 4. So it's for other tuners to help us line up to make these synchros. This is weird. Trilosucuda, I don't think we're going to see a lot of, but it's going to be one of those, like... No, I think we'll see a lot of it as, like, an interesting bridge to go into other things. We'll see where that goes. Okay, Sekai Banka, Planetary Elegy, a normal spell card. Add a Veda monster from your deck to your hand, so both the Karantha and the new one are searchable by Rhoda. If a face-up tuner you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in the graveyard and Visa Starfrost is on the field, you can banish this card, then target one of those destroyed monsters and add it to your hand. Okay, so this is Manadium support, effectively. Tuner gets destroyed, Vsauce is in rotation, or on the field. It can't just be in the graveyard, too, but it's on the field. You get to add it back to your hand. Okay, nifty little extra thing. Recursion is always a nice thing to have. It's funny that this thing isn't like a tuner for some reason, right? No, okay, it's not a pendulum. I know a level 12 pendulum tuner sounds like the wildest thing, but this is Yu-Gi-Oh! You never know what's happening. Okay. Planetary Eulogy. Quick play spell card. Target a monster you control and an effect monster your opponent controls. Destroy that monster you control. If you negate that opponent's monster's effect on the end of the turn, then if Visas is on the field, you can destroy the targeted monster. Okay. During your main phase, if a Veda monster card is on the field, you can banish a card from the graveyard to destroy a monster you control. Okay, so it's... Once again, this sounds like just Manadium support. Pop a Manadium tuner, negate a monster, and if you have Visas, you also get to destroy it, so it's also removal. So, and then if you have Veda, it's also acts as removal. The card art is very small right now. I don't know what to make of this, but it appears that it's Visas fighting Veda. The card is called... These cards are Elegy and Eulogy, and while I know that Elegy is like a kind of song, I don't know what the context of it is. A eulogy, though, I know for a fact that's the thing that you read at someone's funeral. You know, kind of lines up with the fact that some of the worlds have been destroyed, like I was saying. This is why you watch the lore videos, folks. Sarve Sarga, normal trap card. You can only use the first and second effect of this card name each once per turn. If Visa Starfrost is on the field, target an effect monster on the field. Shuffle that target into the deck, and if you do, during the end phase, its owner can add a monster from their deck to their hand with a different type and a lower level than the shuffled monster's level, rank, or linker. Oh my gosh. If a Veda monster is special summoned while this card is in the graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. Okay, so you're supposed to be playing them concurrently so you can get both effects, because I don't know if you want to just run Sarve Sarga just to punt it into your graveyard for it to be put back into your hand. So it removes something, and then they get to search later. That's reminiscent to Clear New World's whole pop a monster and then summon a monster with a different type and attribute but a lower level from your deck. This kind of does... it doesn't check attribute, but it does kind of hit all the same, you know, margins. And if you hit an effect monster that somehow doesn't line up cleanly with all those restrictions, then it's just removal. But even so, it's still just a 1-for-1 trap card. I don't know, though, because, like, any, like, decently leveled monster, this just turns into, like, a search for, like, a hand trap or something, which I don't feel totally comfortable with. But, like, if we're after the point where a trap card's been activated, it might be late enough in a duel where a hand trap isn't super impactful. But we'll see where that goes. Especially if you, shuffle back, like, a Link 2 monster. Oh, not shuffle back. No, you do shuffle back. Yeah, if you shuffle back a Link 2 monster, then they're only searching for level 1s, and not everyone might have that. So, could be an interesting side-deck card if you're playing Visas Turbo. Okay, last one. Loca Samsara. Which appears to be Veda with all the different arts for all of the different heart monsters that we've seen so far. Almost like a cycle, perhaps, of some reincarnations. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. Each, banish a face-up Visas Starfrost you control until the end phase. Special summon a heart monster with 3,000 attack from your extra deck, ignoring summoning conditions, but you can only activate its effect once. Also, banish it face down during the end phase. You may have a heart. Once. If your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck while this card's in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. Now that's interesting. So, this means that you can play... What is it? So it gives you access to Tricart to lock down a field, and then you would want to just, like, link it off immediately afterwards so you don't have to banish it, right? Just get rid of it. It's not quite useful for Prime Heart because then it doesn't get its additional attacks. It's great for our singleton copy of a Rise Heart now because that's just macro for a turn that could eventually get the material... Oh, no, because it's only activates its effect once. So the mandatory attach is going to give it one material and then it shuts off for the rest of the turn. Though the continuous effect goes off, so you can't use the removal effect. Huh. Is there a heart monster you want to summon off of Samsara? Maybe there's like a line that you can go through that gets you there and then it's good, but the more I think about it, the less useful this seems. Okay, so lore implications. I guess it might be a little too early to say, but as long as we're making wild speculations here, I was right about everything that I've ever said about everything that was going on. In this latest set, Veda is coming after Visas' new whole setup. Making friends is bad, apparently. And now Veda's maybe bringing him in line. Maybe it's just another rivalry. Whom can say that? I don't know, but I think it's pretty clear that, you know, Eulogy pretty clearly spells out that he's been going around blowing up worlds, and Amritara might be the next on this weird pendulum dudes list. Alright, so, interesting first look. I would love to see how some of these cards update Manadium, because out of all of the archetypes, that one's kind of the one that needs most help, even though, funnily enough, I feel like that one has the most potential for all the weird synchro lines you can do. It just has been pretty lackluster, so getting another, effectively, not Riem Heart, but another Riem Heart-esque card, retrieving cards, another synchro you can go into, which might help with your lines. Oh, actually, I think Trilosucuda is what will help get them into things like Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, which is pretty nice to add to almost any end board, I think. Yeah. Let me know what all of you think. I don't know if this is going to be super impactful. I like what it does for the lore. We're getting the next chapter. Everyone who keeps saying that, like, oh, this is the last chapter of X lore, never believe them. never for a second think that they're going to end one of these big multi-year lore cycles, because those are like brand images. They've invested all this time in this story. They're not exactly going to stop it, because it's a card game that is going to keep releasing product forever and ever and ever, and thus the story must go on ad infinitum. I look forward to covering part 34 of the Visas lore in 2052. See all you next time. Bye-bye.